Okay, so let's talk about something that sounds, well, kind of crazy at first. Imagine working your entire life, scrimping and saving, and finally hitting that magic number. You're a millionaire. You've won the game. But what if, when you get there, you realize the prize isn't what you thought it was? Today, we're diving into the reverse FIRE movement, this really fascinating story about people who have it all and then choose to live with less to find something way more valuable.
Wow. Just let that sink in for a minute. $4.3 million. For most of us, that's the absolute dream, right? That's the finish line you run towards your whole career. But for this couple, and, a growing number of people just like them, hitting that goal was actually the moment they realized the whole race was, well, it was broken. Something was really wrong with the game itself.
It's a powerful question, isn't it? It really gets to the heart of what we all think we want and why we chase after it so hard. I mean, you'd think financial freedom would solve everything. This is the big mystery we're going to try and unpack today. Why are people who have more money than they could ever need suddenly choosing to live simpler, more intentional, and frankly, smaller lives?
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to look at the original dream, that idea of retiring super early. Then, we'll dig into why enough suddenly started to feel like it was never enough for some folks. After that, we'll get into the main event, the reverse FIRE movement. We'll look at what it actually looks like in real life and, stick around for this part, how you can actually use some of these ideas to rethink your own definition of what it means to be wealthy.
Okay, so first things first, we've got to understand the movement that kind of kicked this whole thing off, FIRE. You've probably heard of it. For the past decade or so, it's been this massive, super popular idea in personal finance, especially with younger people who just looked at the old school career path and thought, nope, thank you.
So, what is FIRE, really? It stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And the plan is, well, it's simple, but it's incredibly tough. You have to live this life of extreme frugality. I mean, we're talking about saving half your income or more, like 60, even 70%. And all that money you save, you pour it into investments really aggressively. The entire goal is to build up a nest egg so huge that you can live off the investment returns forever without ever having to work again.
And this right here is the big promise. The whole point of all that intense sacrifice, of saying no to dinners out, to vacations, to a new car. It wasn't just about hoarding money. It was about using money as a tool to buy back the one thing you can never, ever make more of, your time. It's an incredibly seductive idea, isn't it? The thought of getting total freedom from the 9-to-5 grind, not when you're 65, but maybe when you're 45 or even 35.
But as more and more people started chasing this dream, something kind of weird happened. Some of the people who actually did it, who crossed the finish line, they started to realize that the reality, it just didn't feel like the dream they were sold. The nonstop focus on hitting that magic number, it started to take a toll that their financial spreadsheets just didn't account for.
Turns out, there's this hidden psychological price tag. A lot of people started to feel like they were sacrificing their best years, their 20s, their 30s, for a future that wasn't even guaranteed. It could lead to this thing they call a zero life, where you just say no to every experience because it costs money, and instead of feeling free, they felt more stressed, constantly staring at stock market tickers, terrified that one bad downturn could wipe out a decade of sacrifice. And for so many who actually reached their number, the anxiety didn't just vanish. Nope, the goalpost just moved further away.
So it was these cracks in the dream that really gave birth to this whole counter movement. And it's important to get this right. It's not about being bad with money or rejecting financial security. It's about a deep, profound reevaluation of what words like success and freedom actually mean to a human being.
And this is it. Reverse FIRE. It's a mindset. It's a philosophy. It's for people who could keep climbing the ladder, who could keep earning more and more, but they make a conscious, deliberate choice to stop. They intentionally downshift. They simplify their lives. They basically decide that their time, their mental health, and finding some kind of meaning in their day are way more valuable than just adding another zero to their bank account. Okay, this chart makes the difference so clear. It's like the aha moment. On one side, you have FIRE. The whole game is about future freedom. You use extreme saving to hit a number so you can retire. On the other side, reverse FIRE is all about present fulfillment. The goal completely shifts. It's not about stopping work. It's about having a work-optional life where you do things for purpose, not just profit. And look at the last line. Wealth is no longer just a number you have to hit. Wealth becomes the amount of quality time you have, how good your health is, and the strength of your relationships. It's a total redefinition.
So what on earth does this actually look like in the real world? It's one thing to talk about it as a philosophy, but when you see what people are actually doing, it gets really, really surprising. This is what people call the underconsumption lifestyle, and it's being adopted by people you would never, ever expect.
Just take a look at some of these habits. We're talking about millionaires here, people who could walk into any store and buy anything they want. But what are they choosing to do? They're shopping at discount grocery stores like Aldi. They're literally mending a hole in their shirt instead of just buying a new one. They're scrolling Facebook Marketplace to find toys for their kids. They're driving a 10-year-old Toyota that works perfectly fine instead of a brand new Tesla or BMW. They're not buying mansions. They're choosing normal, comfortable houses that just work.
And I really have to hammer this point home because it's the most important part of this whole idea. None of this is about necessity. It's not because they have to. It is 100% about choice. It's a conscious, deliberate rejection of what they call lifestyle creep. You know that automatic tendency we all have to spend more just because we start earning more? They have the money, but they've decided their peace of mind is worth more than a luxury handbag.
So that brings us to the deeper question, why? Why would anyone do this? And the answer is tied to a much bigger cultural shift that's happening right now. It's like this quiet little rebellion against the hustle culture that's been screaming at us for years. That idea that you should always be grinding, always optimizing, always accumulating more and more and more.
Right at the very core of reverse fire is this one powerful psychological truth. And it's a truth that's actually backed up by tons of scientific research. There's a point of diminishing returns when it comes to money and happiness. You know, once your basic needs are met, you've got a roof over your head, food on the table, and a decent safety net, every extra dollar you earn actually brings you less and less real, tangible happiness. These folks just happened to reach that point and had the clarity to actually see it for what it was. And the rewards for making this shift? They are huge. But you can't measure them in dollars and cents. They're all psychological. By just stepping off that hamster wheel of keeping up with the Joneses, they feel this dramatic drop in stress and anxiety. All of a sudden, they have more time and, just as importantly, more mental energy for their hobbies, their family, their friends. People who do this say they feel more authentic, like the person they are on the outside finally matches who they are on the inside. And here's an interesting one. Because their lifestyle is simpler and their monthly bills are lower, they're actually more resilient and less fragile when the economy gets a little shaky.
Okay, so you might be listening to all this and thinking, that's awesome for millionaires, but what does this have to do with me? And that is a totally fair question. But the real beauty of this whole reverse fire idea is that you don't need $1 million to use its principles. It's all about a shift in your mindset, and that's accessible to absolutely everyone.
So here's how anyone can get started. Number one, get really clear on your values. I mean, sit down and actually think. What brings me genuine joy? Is it hiking? Is it playing music? Is it just having coffee with a friend? Number two, audit your lifestyle. Pull up your bank statement and just ask a simple question for each purchase. Does this actually align with my values? Three, simplify slowly. This isn't about selling everything you own tomorrow. Just start with small things. Cancel a subscription you don't use. Cook one more meal at home each week. 4, explore your purpose. Ask yourself, if I didn't have to worry so much about the paycheck, what would I do with my skills and time? And finally, number 5, build your community. Intentionally invest your time and energy in the people that matter.
So when you boil it all down, these are the core ideas. It's about being intentional with your life instead of just running on autopilot. It's about finding fulfillment today, not in some far-off future. It's about letting your deeply held values, not your income, be the thing that guides your decisions. It's all about building a life that is simple, sustainable, full of purpose, and, most of all, rich in relationships.
And this, for me, this is the most powerful reframing of the whole concept. Maybe the ultimate goal shouldn't be to just escape work entirely. Maybe, just maybe, true freedom is having enough financial security that you get to choose the work you do. Work that has meaning, work that you can do on your own terms. It's about having control, purpose, and autonomy, not just an escape hatch.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to mull over. If you took the pressure off, just for a second, if you stopped constantly chasing the next promotion, the next pay raise, the next bigger house, what would you suddenly have space for in your life? What truly, honestly defines wealth for you? It's a really big question, but the answer might just be a lot simpler and a lot closer than you think.